Alright, if loving you is wrong, fans, yeah, I know this video is a little late, but real life stuff. I'll explain at the end of the video. This will be my episode review for If Loving You Is Wrong, Season 5, the premiere. An old skeleton, and don't mind the rustling paper sound, just trying to get my notebook straight. Okay, this episode was pretty strong. I know after reading some comments and tweets online, some people felt it was slow paced. I think, honestly, this episode did a solid job. I don't feel like, I didn't feel bored at any point during the episode. If anything else, it really did move the plot along from the ending of the last episode, Jennifer, that we got last year. And pretty much did some decent setup for what's to come. And I don't know if I'm going to review this episode in the standard order that I usually do, where I'm talking about everything as it happens, but I'm kind of going to jump around here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the brief but informative scene between Tanya and Bennet while they're just watching TV in their house. Bennet, for whatever reason, keeps getting up to look outside of the blinds to see, most likely checking in on Randall to see if he's staring over at the house or doing something shady. Tanya's a bit concerned, like, hey, why are you looking out of the window? And, you know, he pretty much explains, I want to make sure that guy's not messing around with you. Tanya is pretty sure that Randall won't stop. It's like they never stop. You know, he keeps looking in and doing this and that, and I told him to stop, but it doesn't matter. Bennet confident that he will stop messing around with him because obviously he went in there and messed up the house, so that's why he thinks everything is good to go. Tanya's like, you know, what are you going to do? He's not going to stop. Are you going to tear around? Are you going to tear apart his house like the last place we were at? So seems to me that Tanya isn't the only one with some mental instabilities going on here. I mean, with Bennet, it's just a situation where he can't stand anyone talking bad about his wife. It turns out it's not just if someone does something like Randall in sense of being naked and taunting her from the window, but just anyone in general who talks behind Tanya's back or pretty much does anything that, you know, makes her upset. Bennet will literally go out of his way and destroy their home. So why these characters were introduced before the final season, I'm not 100% sure. And I'm not saying I don't like them. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm very interested in terms of their inclusion in this series, but I'm sure we'll find out because, well, this is the final season, so we'll find out something soon enough. Turns out some fans were absolutely correct in the recap. And the recap felt like 3 minutes long, but I mean, to be fair, they did have to run back through a lot of stuff due to the fact that, well, the show's been gone for a while. Somebody sent me the recap before the episode aired and told me about Tyrell being in there, and Tyrell's probably the one snooping around Kelly's house. I didn't really know what to make of it, mainly because if you remember Tuesday, I had recorded over a dozen videos, edited, and posted all of them. So by that point, I was done. My voice was tired. I could have easily done a Tyrell video and raked in the views, but oh well, I did do a video about, you know, who was snooping around the house, so there we go. But yeah, Tyrell is back. He's gotten out of jail. Lucian handcuffs him, pretty much wants to find some form of confirmation that this is Justice's father, and he has permission to stay at Kelly's. Surprising things about Lucian in this episode. I was talking with Chandler and just talking with some other fans, and it felt like Lucian was a bit cold in this episode, unlike his usual helpful and friendly self. I mean, when we first see him and Natalie talking, you know, she's kind of, you know, sad about the whole situation with Alex, but he pretty much bluntly is like, well, she made her bed and now she has to lie in it, which is honestly fact, but that didn't really sound like the Lucian we've come to know. Then when he sees the person snooping around, he tells Natalie, hey, stay in the house. And can you believe Natalie actually stays in the house? Because remember, after the gunshot was heard from Kelly's house, Lucian went in there and saw that Kelly shot Travis, and he kept telling Natalie to stay in the house. Then she's going to get on the porch. I want to stay on the porch. I ain't going back in the house. Next thing you know, when Lucian finally makes his way into the house, Natalie opens the door and pokes in. Hey, what's going on over here? I'm like, what the hell are you doing here, Natalie? So yeah, she actually stayed in the house this time. And then from there, you know, Lou tells Natalie to come out and then, well, actually calls, if I'm not mistaken, to identify him. And she can't really verify, but at the same time, Lucian's like, hey, Kelly's been through enough. Come back around 9 o'clock when I can confirm it. And he actually gets up and leaves. And, you know, Natalie was like, damn, that was cold. Well, a few hours away won't do him any, you know, a few hours at the bus stop won't hurt him. Would you have let him in the house? To be honest, Lucian made the right call. Given the fact that Kelly's been through a lot already. So the last thing she needs is yet another man who she didn't welcome into her home, try to get into the house. And yeah, I can definitely see where he was doing his job, but also being dutiful. And I admire that. But yeah, it's hard not to notice that, yeah, Lou was actually pretty cold in this episode, from, yeah, Alex did this to herself, to like, hell no, you ain't going up in that house. But also kind of harkening back to Brad and Marcy real quick, because I got to talk about them as well. They're just, chilling on the couch, and Marcy asked about, well, and then, yeah, the papers have been signed. Of course, they need to be notarized or whatever, but yeah, the divorce papers have been signed. Marcy is elated by that. Brad tries to push on the, oh, well, now we can get married or whatever. And it's like, nah, just wait a little while. Because the video I did yesterday about my thoughts on those two being together, a lot of you seem to agree in the comment section. It's not that I dislike these characters. It's just that I feel like they were drawn together due to the circumstances of their cheating spouses. And it's like they found healing in each other, but they both have a lot of healing to do. Maybe date other people before they even try to get together. At the very least, don't get married. That's just, that's not a good look. And if anything, this episode truly proves that Brad won't be able to fully give himself to Marcy, because his children by Alex are still the link between the two. I mean, yeah, Alex was being completely irresponsible in the episode by not going because, to let the babysitter go home and watch her kids. But at the same time, those are Brad's kids, and Marcy was just being completely immature and selfish in this episode. I mean, from calling Alex out of her name, and then not only that, but leaving those rude voicemails on her phone when Brad stepped out. They ain't called for. But here's the point I wanted to bring up, because this scene links to the Tyrell scene. They were talking about how it was 11 o'clock and, Brad would make like a small dinner or whatever. But then Lou was like a couple hours. I'm like, no, that's like what, almost 10 hours that, Tyrell had to find a place to stay, then come back by 9. When Lucian's able to get confirmation about Kelly allowing him to actually stay at the house. So yeah, that was pretty messed up. Then we have, Alex. I'm just going to put all this in one scene, because I've already done videos on the little clips we got. Ian confronts Alex. Alex finally, after denying it once again, says that, hey, we only had sex one time, so that's not your baby. But I'm not an expert in this, but doesn't it only take one time to potentially have a baby? I'm not saying that the first time is always like, oh, a baby, but at the same time, all it takes is one time. And, after threatening with legal action, Alex finally caves. They actually go to Ian's house. He pulls out some drinks. And this is when Jennifer begins to come out and loose lip sink ships from... Guys, what I loved about this scene is the fact that a lot of you called this for over a year, and you are on the money. Alex's dad sexually abusing her from what? I think Chandler told me from age 6 to her college years. Her wanted to be an actress, but her parents didn't want her to be. It's like, you need to get married and start pumping out babies. She didn't even want kids, and good Lord, everything just, and then not only that, she loves black people. I mean, her family beating just harming and hurting black men almost to death, but yet she loves black men. So let me put it this way. There's no telling how many online personas Alex has put on these dating websites, from Jennifer to Pepper to Salt to Vinegar. I don't know. But we know that every time that she was allegedly at a PTA meeting or whatever, or basically some sort of function for parents to be at for the sake of their children, she was with a black man. So there ain't no telling who the hell is the baby of this father. I mean, the father of this baby. There's no telling. I don't even know what to say. I mean, when Ian tries to cut her off, it gets to the point that she just goes down on him, and that's pretty much their stick for the entire episode. So yes, I will be doing an Alex video. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do this one and then a sisters video tonight. 2 videos, and then tomorrow I'll work on more. Let's see here. We have Eddie at Larry's place. Larry has a male friend, well, we all know how Larry gets down, so he goes in the house. Larry's talking with Eddie. Eddie wants to know about Pete, Andrew, and Joey. Threatens Larry in regards to if they ever are they what FBI protection? If they testify against me, all hell's going to break loose. So pretty much it was a standoff in regards to Eddie's not backing down because, hey, I know where you live, I know what your wife looks like, and Larry calls him out for wanting to be punished. And once again, I did an entire video on this scene itself because I think Larry knows how to read people. Yeah, he's creepy, but at the same time, I think he pretty much called Eddie out for who and what he really is. But at the same time, Eddie doesn't want to admit to it, hence why he's pissed. So we have not seen the end of these two versus each other because we know that Eddie's allegedly going to try to run him over, but that'll be later on in the season. Rick is asking one of the nurses at the hospital for help in regards to, hey, do you know any information about the girls at the church? While she wisely like, look, my feet hurt, I'm ready to clock out, and I ain't trying to mess around with these people at the church. It's like the mafia over there. I'm not trying to be involved. But it seems like in exchange for like, you know, some drinks and potentially going out to dance, she will tell Rick what she knows. So we have more potential information to help out Kelly. Speaking of Kelly, Sister Margaret comes by with a Bible full of photos of the women. We're talking dates, settlements, names, all this stuff which could be used to potentially help her out. And I really do hope Kelly gets a win this season. If not, even if she doesn't get out of jail until the last episode, I hope she is free, finds peace and happiness. And what I loved is oh yeah, you know what? Let me save my overview for the end of the video. We're almost done. Esperanza wants Steven to stay with her. Not much to say here aside from the point that she wants to take her daughter to her parents, at least until everything with the Eddie situation blows over. And Steven offers to, drive him up there. I love this scene because not only is it a way of getting Esperanza's daughter out of the story, but it actually makes sense. That way we're not asking, well, where's her daughter at when everything like this is happening? She's actually going to be written out of the show in a believable way. Because, yeah, a lot of shit's going down, and Esperanza's daughter does not need to be caught in the middle of it. So let's take her to her grandparents, and then once this is settled, we can get her situated with me again. That actually makes sense. And I do hope we have an episode where, not the entire episode, but we at least see Steven, Esperanza, and the daughter driving up there. Like, I don't know if Esperanza's daughter will ever be physically seen in this series again, in this final season, but at least we have an idea of what the character is going to be up to, aside from, Alex's kids who are always asleep or at school or something like that. Randall threatens Marcy and Brad in regards to wrecking the house. Again, I've already done a video on this, but not much to say here to add on to it, aside from at the end of the episode when Brad has to leave because Chelsea, the babysitter, calls saying that Alex hasn't come home. It's been a few hours later than she said she'd be back, and I really need to get out of here. Brad needs to go over there to check on his kids and let the babysitter go home, and we know Marcy, how she felt about it, which I've already mentioned earlier in the video. Definitely wasn't being mature about it. And when Brad leaves, Randall actually sees him and then actually bursts into Marcy's house and starts attacking her. So that's pretty much the episode in a nutshell. I really wanted to give this episode a 9 out of 10, but I felt a 9 may have been a bit too high. 8.5 is a reasonable score. I feel like this episode was well paced. It really kept the characters and their storylines moving forward, so we have things to look forward to for the remainder of the season. Still not sure on the episode count if it's 12 or 20, but either way, it looks like things are moving along just fine. And, Lou felt a bit cold in this episode, but I did understand where he was coming from. I love the fact that I actually felt bad for Alex. And, you all know how much I love Alex, but to be honest, I wanted to give her a hug. Kind of like Ian, I was completely caught off guard with her backstory and everything. It really did hurt to see her like that. And like, look, the whole divorce and everything, that's one thing. But I mean, in regards to her past, it sucked. And then another thing that actually was uplifting was when Sister Margaret was telling Kelly about, getting back into the word and getting back to church. I felt that because honestly, I'm guilty of that. I really need to just take more time and absorb the word and move forward spiritually instead of just, sitting around in my own funk, in regards to, things I'm going through and whatnot. So that was good. So once I finish these videos, I'm about to, read some scriptures before I hit the sheets tonight. But that was a good thing to hear. And I would say going to church, but, obviously everything going on in the world, you really can't physically go. You got to do it virtually. But, yeah, that's pretty much the episode in a nutshell. But let's get to the stuff I mentioned at the beginning of the video, why this video is late and everything. For starters, thank you all so much for everyone during the live stream last night who was wishing me well, like, hey, be careful and everything. Just wanted to let you know I woke up around 9:20 this morning after going to sleep a little around 1 o'clock. Got a good night's sleep, went out to a few stores, made it safe and sound. Thank goodness, no trouble on the roads. It was a little windy outside, so it was chilly. I couldn't find my hat, but I wore a light jacket with a hood on it. These stores are taking the epidemic seriously. Like in Food Lion, they even put up like glass screens. Like, you know, when you're going to the checkout, there's like a glass screen between you and like the cashier. And then on the debit card, device, they actually have a plastic bag over it. You stick your card in, and it's like the plastic bag covering the numbers and everything. So it's kind of hard to see what you're inputting and whatnot. Then when I went to the neighborhood Walmart, I didn't go to any like big chain store. Food Lion didn't have many people in there, but I mean, I went to Dollar Tree, the neighborhood Walmart, Family Dollar, then Dollar General, which is right beside the Food Lion on Lakeside Drive. So none of those stores were crowded because it was like pretty early. It was like I was out from like 9:30 to about 11:15. Because like I said, I went in these stores, got what I could, and got out. So at Burger King, the only reason I stopped at Burger King was because they were serving lunch right at the time I got out of the Food Lion. And when I paid, it's like they have like this metal tray they would, stick out of the window. You would put your debit card on it. Then when they were finished, they would put your debit card and receipt on the tray. And then they would have one of the takeout trays with your bag of food on it, pass you the tray. You would reach for your bag. And then I'm like, damn, y'all got the social distancing on point. And then the neighborhood Walmart, this was crazy. They had a bunch of flip upside down carts taped together in a line. And you would have to go all the way to the back of that line and then walk on the sidewalk, which is taped. It has green tape to mark 6 feet. What? Damn. They taking that seriously. So yeah, no toilet paper or paper towels anywhere or wet wipes. But thankfully, I still got enough to last me for 7 more weeks. So I'm good on that. But I feel bad for people trying to get that stuff. But then again, aside from the shortages, it is the week of the 1st. So, food stamps, Social Security people, all those things play a factor in why things are just being taken off the shelves as soon as they get there. But yeah, I'm doing well. Don't worry. I don't have to go out for a while. Like, I don't plan on going to any stores anytime soon. I got what I needed, so I'm good. So videos will be coming at a more steady pace. But over the next few days, I need to list more stuff on eBay, have this extra income coming in. If you're a Patreon member, I posted 5 different things yesterday. So shout out to my 4 patrons, because any avenue to make extra income outside of YouTube right now is great. And you can join Patreon for as low as $3 a month. Make sure you follow me on social media. Links to everything are in the description below. Give this video a thumbs up. Really appreciate it, because if loving you is wrong, I want these videos to blow up like they did last year. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so already, because the numbers keep going up. We just hit 113,000 subscribers on yesterday, and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out whenever I post new content. And finally, I'm taking a brief hiatus from Ruthless videos. I think I mentioned this in my If Loving You Is Wrong trailer breakdown yesterday, but yeah, as of this morning, all of my Ruthless videos that have the theme song have been flagged for copyright and blocked. So I've put in all the dispute claims. I even talked with some of the cast members, and oh my god, I hope this thing gets rectified because we love your videos. So let me put it this way: if I don't hear back from Viacom, I even contacted Viacom BET. If I don't get contacted by them by, let's say, tomorrow night this time, then on Saturday I'm going to re-upload all my Ruthless videos about the theme song, and then I'll watch episode 5. But until this whole copyright thing is done, I'm not going to watch Ruthless episode 5 or do more videos. So just please understand, that's why I'm going to have a Ruthless hiatus for the time being. Hopefully it gets rectified, because the show is really getting good. But just know that you won't see a Ruthless episode 5 review until this problem is rectified. So just please understand from my point of view that I put a lot of work into these. The timeline video took 36 hours of work. The Ruthless and the Oval timeline video. And as you can tell, I'm very pissed off by that. So hopefully this gets rectified tomorrow, or at least by Saturday. So I'll keep you updated on that. So thanks so much for tuning in. And I really do hope If Loving You Is Wrong continues to do well. This season premiere is really good. One can only hope the rest of the season is as good, if not better. And also comment, what was your favorite part, or what was some of your favorite parts of this episode?